Welcome back to Starting Point with me, Valerina Daniel, and my co-host, Ardi Otoyo. And now we are joined by our guest today, Christian Strand. Hello, Christian. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So for those who doesn't know Christian, Christian is an Indonesian who was adopted by a Norwegian family and grew up in Oslo. But he was originally from Indonesia, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, doesn't that look like Indonesian?
Yes, of course, you look like Indonesian. Yeah. So welcome to Indonesia because this is your first time, right?
This is my first time. First time in Jakarta, first time in Indonesia. So I brought my family with me to discover the country, discover the culture, the people, everything.
That's so exciting.
Great.
Well, we are going to have a really great conversation, fun conversation with you. But before that, we are going to go to several news items. So today is the birthday of Jakarta. So it's the 496th anniversary of Jakarta this year. And it's celebrated with the theme, The Work for the Archipelago. The anniversary of the city, which is celebrated annually on June 22nd, has quite a long history. Take a look.
Jakarta had been a small port in the estuary of the Ciliwung River since 1527, which later on gradually transformed into an international trading center controlled by the Portuguese colonialists. Popularly known as Kalapa, or the main port of the Sunda Kingdom, the Portuguese trading center was attacked by Prince Fathahila. Since then, Prince Fathahila changed the name Sunda Kalapa to Jayakarta. The date of the attack by Fathahila was then commemorated till date as the anniversary of Jakarta. In the 16th century, the VOC, or the Dutch East India Company, arrived and took over Jayakarta and changed its name to Batavia, which was then from the ancestor of the Dutch Batavieren. Batavia has turned into the center of the national movement in the early 20th century, which was marked by the Second Youth Congress in 1928. Since the start of the Japanese occupation of Indonesia in 1942 to 1945, as a result of the Second World War, Batavia was changed into Jakarta or Jakarta Tokubetsushi. Following the proclamation of Indonesian independence in 1945, Jakarta had become the center of political and governance activities. Jakarta was officially named the state capital in 1966. This year is the 496th anniversary celebration of Jakarta, which falls today on the 22nd of June 2023. The Jakarta Provincial Administration carries the theme of this year's celebration, The Work for the Archipelago. This theme is an amplification of the slogan, Successful Jakarta for Indonesia, which means Jakarta's readiness to optimize all resources for the prosperity of the people and to serve as a trigger of progress for other regions in Indonesia.
Jakarta administration has joined forces with various stakeholders to hold a series of events to celebrate the capital's 496th anniversary this year. Among the events are going to be listed now. The first event is Jakarta Great Sale Festival. It's going to be on May 21st until July 21st. And then we will also have literacy event from May 22nd to June 22nd. And then Samasa Market from June 4th to 6th. Jakarta Fair from June 14th to July 16th. Jakarta Collaboration Festival from June 14th to July 16th. Jak Creative Fest from June 16th to July 3rd. Indonesia Comic Con Pop Asia from June 23rd to 25th. Monash Week from June 20th to 25th. And finally, we're going to have Jakarta City Council's General Assembly.
Okay. Now we have seen the things that can be done in Jakarta for Jakarta's birthday,
Yes.
but what we are most looking forward to currently is a conversation with Christian Strand.
First, congratulations with the birthday.
Thank you. Yes, happy birthday, Jakarta.
Yeah, happy birthday, Jakarta.
Yeah, I know you are part of Indonesia, so you are also part of Jakarta, because Jakarta is like the melting pot, right? So
Yeah.
everybody who lives in Indonesia most likely will be represented to Jakarta as well, because you know, a lot of people are coming from different part of Jakarta that live here.
Oh,
right, in
yeah, it's a melting
Jakarta.
pot.
So it's like a melting
Yes.
pot. Yeah, so even though you're not born in Jakarta, but you're probably somehow
You're always a
related to
part.
Jakarta.
Yeah. I kind of feel a part of Jakarta now. When I'm walking
Yeah.
in the streets, I see people looking like me. That's almost the first time, because in Norway there's almost no Indonesians. So when I came here, it's like, oh, everyone looks like me.
Wow.
So
yeah.
and I almost feel like during the few days I've been there, it feels like this is a place that I could really love. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. For someone who is Indonesian, who was adopted by a Norwegian family and grew up in Oslo, so you also has been working in TV industry since 12 years old as an actor, and also host for some popular programs in Norway. And now you are in Jakarta to make a documentary.
Yeah, discovering the country, discovering the people, the music, the food, and everything. Because when I was 3 months old, I was adopted to a Norwegian family. My parents, they came to Jakarta, and they took me back to their home country, Norway. So I grew up outside of Oslo, a really small city called Siggerud. And in Siggerud, I was almost the only one with the brown skin. Everyone was light and not colored. And Siggerud is kind of a small place where you go, you do sports and you go to school. But when I looked at the TV, I looked at Hollywood. I saw TV series and I was like, oh, can I work as a TV host or an actor or a musician, pop star? So when I was 12 years old, I asked my parents, could you help me to go to auditions, casting for parts in drama series and stuff? And I got a part, and I was a TV host when I was 12, still going into school. So I started with my own show when I was 12, and when I was 18, I joined a soap opera. Do you have soap operas in Indonesia?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we do.
We call
Plenty.
it
Yeah.
Sinetron in here, yeah. It's
Yes.
basically the same as opera, but that's how we call it here.
Yeah. So I was joining a soap opera. Then I was playing this guy working in a hotel. You know the guys that stand outside of the hotel carrying luggages?
Like a bellboy.
A bellboy, yeah, right. I was a bellboy.
Yeah.
So then I worked with TV until today.
Ah,
Yeah.
great. So that means maybe you could be part of our team as well.
Yeah, I should be part of you.
Oh, television.
I should
Like
be
TVR World
We should be changing
collaborating
spots right
with you.
now.
TVR World, Norwegian,
Yeah.
Norway, representing.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so can you please tell us more? So you gave us a brief background of you growing up in a small city just outside of Oslo and
Yeah.
like your acting background. So what interested you in the first place to explore Jakarta more? Because you're here right now, physically, on the 496th birthday of Jakarta, which is amazing.
That's crazy.
So you came all the way
crazy.
from Oslo.
Yeah.
What interested you and pushed you to come here in the first place?
Well, since I was young, I've always been very curious about where I'm from. You know, I'm from Norway. I'm been growing up in Norway, but still, I knew that I was from Indonesia. But my parents haven't been there, I haven't been there. So I was thinking, okay, I have to go to my birth country. There was something in me that said, I have to discover the people, the culture, the places, the music, all the things that I just watched on pictures that my parents took. So I said to myself, one day, when I get my own children, and when I have enough money, I will go to my birth country. So when I got my 2 children and my wife, then I said, will you come and join me to my birth country? Because I was a little bit anxious about going here. Because when I was young, I had all these fantasies about what Indonesia was for me. Like, what could I have been if I grew up here? Like, would I be like you guys? Or will I be someone else? I had all these fantasies, so it all grew very large in me. So when I said, okay, I have to go to Indonesia, I have to see what kind of country I'm from, it was so exciting that I almost pushed it years, because what if the fantasy did not come up with what it actually was?
Or live up to.
Live up to my dreams. So now I'm here, and it's so much living up to the dream. It's so what it is that I'm dreaming about. So I think I'm looking for the Indonesian part of me. I'm trying to find what's inside of me, what kind of people I am if I'm Indonesian. Is a place in my heart to take all of Jakarta, all of Indonesia, all of Surabaya, all of Bali inside of my Norwegian life. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that you said that you were fantasizing about, Jakarta in Indonesia, and then after you arrive here, and you said it's okay, it's almost the same as your fantasy. So, what's exactly your first impression about Jakarta?
Yeah.
Wow, my first impression, just days ago when I took my first step outside of the airport in Jakarta, I saw all the people. They were smiling. They looked at me. That was kind of different, because people looked at me as an Indonesian, but I can't speak Indonesian. But they spoke to me.
And what did you do after that?
No, I was, first of all, I was kind of confused. And then I felt a little bit sad, because, oh, I'm so sorry. The only thing I can say is, Selamat pagi.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, and that's it. So it was kind of weird meeting all the Indonesians, but everyone was smiling. And they understood, like, okay, you're not Indonesian, you're a foreigner, but you're still Indonesian. So that was really nice. And also all the food that I've been eating.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what we want to know. What's your favorite so far?
There's so much, but beef rendang is very good.
Oh, beef
rendang, yes.
Yeah, and,
great choice.
and all the satay skewers with the peanut sauce.
Oh, yes. Satay.
Satay, satay.
Yeah.
And nasi goreng.
Oh.
That's good. But it's very spicy compared to Norwegian food.
Yes,
It's different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
it is
different.
different.
It's
Yeah.
very different.
But just like I said before, Jakarta is like a melting pot.
Yeah.
So it's like you can find anything, from Sumatra to Papua in Jakarta. So I think you're going to meet a lot of things, a lot of different kind of foods and people. And I think it's going to make your documentary even more richer than now.
And it's very loud and a lot of traffic.
Yes.
When it comes to Oslo, in Oslo we can go with bikes to our work, and you can walk if you want to. But here it's so much traffic, but still,
it is.
Yeah. So that's quite a different. And yesterday I went to the old city, and that was very nice, because that was the place my kids loved the most. They can see all the stalls, and they can smell all the people making food on the streets. And for me, that was, in some way, that was the picture I had of Jakarta, like the old city and the square around.
Very like it's kind of like historical.
Yeah,
like,
a little bit historical. You see the buildings, but outside of here is all like the new Jakarta with the skyscrapers, and so it's kind of diverse.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And like growing up in Oslo, what was the point of view that you had of Jakarta before? Do you think that it was properly represented in Oslo, or the media that you saw when you were growing up?
I think a lot of Norwegian, when they go traveling, they go to Bangkok in Thailand, or they go to Tokyo, maybe Seoul, or Bali. But Jakarta, for Norwegians, it's a huge metropolitan city, but that's it actually. But I have some people I know on Instagram that has been here doing music, and when I follow them, I see like they have Jakarta has this huge music scene, a lot of art.
It does, yeah.
But people in Norway doesn't know like what Jakarta has. So I think we do not know much about Jakarta. So that's what I want to find out, what kind of city it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So after you arrive here, then what is going to be your focus then for your documentary?
I think the focus for me is to try to discover Indonesia and what it could be for me. I also wanted to go in the footsteps of my parents, because when they came to Jakarta to get me, they went to this orphanage, this Yayasan Sayabibu. So yesterday I went to this orphanage. I visited the orphanage yesterday.
In Jakarta?
In Jakarta, where my papers were done, when my parents came and took me back to Norway. So I visited yesterday, and that was kind of a part of my history that I didn't know about before I came here. I went inside, I saw all the beautiful children, I saw what kind of place it was, because I was in an orphanage before I came to Oslo. So it was kind of important for me to see if the orphanage was a good place, what kind of place it was, how was it to live in an orphanage. Still, I was in the 80s, but what kind of life was it? So I'm trying to discover some of the places that my parents went. And then I'm going now, after Jakarta, I'm going east. I'm going to Surabaya. And then I'm going to Bali.
Wow.
So I'm traveling all the Java and on the...
A big road trip.
A big trip, but I think I have to explore the most that I can, because I have to see... I was born outside of Surabaya, so I have to see what kind of place I'm from. And one of my biggest, you can call it a dream, like what kind of life would I have if I grew up here in Jakarta, for instance, or in Surabaya? So I'm trying to watch and look at people. What kind of life do people have? What kind of food do they eat? And not compare it to Oslo, Norway, but try to see the differences and see what's it like. Yeah.
What about we talk about your, life in Norway?
Yeah.
And then because you said that it's very different,
Very
of
different.
course, to here. So, how is it at that time? I mean,
Today?
Yeah.
Well, we're almost 5.5, 6 million people in Norway. So here in Indonesia, 280 million.
Quite a stark difference in population.
Yeah. In December, it's minus 20 degrees. It's a lot of snow.
Wow.
You know, I go skiing, downhill, and other things. Go skating in the winter. We have different food. We are influenced with Asian food, but not Indonesian food, more like Thai food and Chinese. I think we have almost everyone is working. Yeah. What's the difference?
Yeah, probably the lifestyle and
the
the
lifestyle,
culture.
the culture. Yeah, the lifestyle and culture. We have some national like dresses and food and stuff, but we don't see like the Norwegian culture in our everyday life. The same way I think I can see in Indonesian. I think the culture is more day to day. You can see the Indonesian culture more day to day than you can see in Norway. We use our national dress, bunad it's called. And I wear a hat and I wear like this dress, and the women like always dress, but that's only on our national day or weddings and stuff. But I can see more of the heritage and the culture in Indonesian.
Indonesia.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we usually wear batik. It is also a traditional clothes.
I'm looking for a good batik shirt.
Yeah, usually for the government officials, they wear it on Tuesday, every Tuesday. And then we also, I think we often use our traditional clothes like this. For the Jakarta provincial governments, they wear this kebaya every like once a week. Yeah, so if you're going to go back to Norway after you finish your documentary, will you bring some of that, cultural values from Indonesia to Norway?
I hope so. I have my kid there. You can see. I don't see if you can see him.
Hi.
But he has. Can you come up and show the hat?
Yeah, of course. Come on.
Oliver, you have to come up.
Yeah. So this is great. Like you're gonna be like becoming the
because
Indonesia to Norway.
Norway as well.
Yesterday when we were at the market, they found this. If you stand like this, they found these hats, and they were so nice.
Yeah, it's a traditional.
What kind of hat is that?
It looks like from Japanese hat. Yeah. Some people call it maybe, but it's not blankon. Blankon? No, it's not. Right?
Similar.
It's
similar to a blankon.
Yeah, but it is from West Java, I think. So it's
from West Java.
blankon,
Yeah, and I bought the same, and we are looking for these batik shirts and stuff. So we are definitely going to bring back like clothes and the food. And some music.
Wow. How have they been enjoying Jakarta so far?
I think they have been enjoying Jakarta very much, especially the old city. And it's so different from the life they have in Norway when they see other kids here. They look, I think that they almost cannot sleep because it's so many impressions to take in and all the experiences. We've been flying for 24 hours almost to get here, a day.
That's a long time.
Yeah, so it's so different from our life in Norway.
What are their names? What are their names?
What heter dere? Oliver and Liam.
Oliver and Liam. Okay, so I hope you like it here in Jakarta, Indonesia, because that's where your fathers come from. Yeah.
And they're half Indonesian, that.
Oh.
Yeah, they're half them.
Okay. So, all right, thank you. It's nice that you are also introducing your cultural background to your children from early age, because as you can see from your life, you were brought up to Norway since you were very young. So, and you feel that you need to connect, right?
I feel like I have to connect because my Norwegian parents, they did not introduce me much for Indonesian culture. Not the food, not the music, not the country. So I had to discover everything by myself back in Norway. So when I got my own kids, I felt like I had to introduce them in not a better way, but maybe a different way. So now they're 7 and 9, and I said, you have to come with me to Indonesia. And also my wife. So I want to introduce them more than I have been when I was young. So they could be more Indonesian in an early stage than I was. So I think that's very nice because today the world is more global. They can see stuff on the internet like on Instagram or Snapchat or YouTube they can sit in their home and watch street food of Jakarta online. But it's different to actually come there and smell and look and meet people. So that's what I wanted to do with them. Yeah. Wow.
Well, we definitely still have more to chat with you after this, and we're very excited that also your kids were here just now and you're introducing cultures with them. Before that, we will go to another news. As the capital city, Jakarta, which is having its birthday today, has an area named Glodok, which is located in West Jakarta. The area is also known as the largest Chinatown in Indonesia.
Jakartans have long known Glodok as Indonesia's largest Chinatown, where the majority of Chinese Indonesian community live and seek livelihoods. The area dates back to colonial times in November 1740, when the Dutch East India Company, or VOC, designated Glodok as a residential area for ethnic Chinese groups. The origin of Glodok's namesake comes from Golodok, a Sundanese word that means the entryway to step into a house. The term was attached to the area because Jakarta was the gate to enter the ancient Sunda kingdom. Another story said that Glodok was named after a water fountain in the area that made the sound glodok glodok when the water mill was turned. Located in Jakarta's Old Town area, Glodok has several heritage buildings in Chinese architecture, making this area stand out from the Dutch colonial buildings in the surrounding areas. Some historical sites in Glodok are, among others, the Santa Maria de Fatima Cathedral, the only Catholic church in Jakarta that uses Chinese architecture style, as well as the Toa Se Biot Temple and Dharma Bhakti Temple. Glodok makes a perfect heritage tourism destination, especially during the Chinese New Year and post-Lunar New Year Cap Gomeh celebrations. At those times, the area will be adorned in red and gold embleaches, and the temples will have more congregations than usual days. Currently, Glodok still becomes a tourism destination for the local people. It has also been declared as a tourism village by Tourism and Creative Economy Minister.
Okay, just now we just saw a profile of Glodok, which is one of the biggest Chinatown in Indonesia.
Yeah.
So, Christian, have you ever been to Glodok?
Yes, I went there yesterday.
Ah,
Wow.
how was it
Yeah.
then? How did you feel after
Yeah,
visiting
what
it?
did you think?
It was so much people. It was so much smells and so much color. It was
All
very
over the
nice.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all over the place. But I have been living in the U.S., so I've been to other Chinatowns in LA and San Francisco and Seattle. It kind of looked like that. I think the Chinatowns all around the world is in some kind of way looking the same. And what I miss in Oslo is that we do not have a Chinatown.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have I think we have kind of small Chinese population. We have some Chinese restaurant, but like in almost every other big cities, they have this Chinatown. But in Oslo, we do not have. We have a Chinese restaurant, but not Chinatown. So it's very exciting when we drove in Jakarta and came through the Glodok and we saw all the things, the food, the colors and buildings and people. Yeah, exciting.
Exciting.
yeah. So because just like you said, Indonesia historical background is very distinctive because we have a lot of influence from the Dutch, from the Chinese as well. So if you see that, I mean, after you see that, what can you feel about Jakarta then? Do you feel more connected or?
Well, when I first met my wife, she said like, okay, we have to discover something with Indonesia. And she took me to Amsterdam, you know, Netherlands, the Amsterdam. And in Amsterdam, there's a huge influence of Indonesia and Jakarta. So that was the first time I actually saw that Indonesia and the Netherlands have a great connection. So when I came here to Jakarta and went to the old city and other places, I saw these old buildings. I saw the colonial style. I saw that you had I don't know how many 100 years ago, but you were very influenced by the Netherlands. And I also know that a lot of adopted children today are in the Netherlands. So I have met some Indonesians in the Netherlands that were adopted like me. So yeah, I can see the influence that you have from the Netherlands, but I can also see now that when you're not a part of Netherlands, that you have grew your own culture in a very proud way, and it's very nice to see.
Yeah. And of course, if you like food, this is the place. This is the place, yeah.
Yeah.
Where you can find
Yes, it's so much
anything.
food. Do you like all the chilies, the sambal? Is it too strong for you?
Yeah, most Indonesians, are
Yes.
they
We are
love
quite
sambals,
accustomed to
like spicy
to
food.
spice.
Yeah.
We almost do not have any spices in Norway.
Oh.
In our Norwegian food, then it's almost pepper and salt. That's it. When it comes to Norwegian, the most common. So
Wow, and
not
so-
that much chili.
Now you're encountering so much food. I mean, how do you feel? Is it so foreign to you? Like,
Would you
yeah,
also
I
gonna
think
cook it maybe
Yeah.
later?
I love to cook food.
take home some spices?
Yeah, I love to cook food. So I want to try a lot of stuff, and I want to see if it's any difference between Jakarta, Surabaya, and Bali. If there are any differences when it comes to the country in a whole. But here I'm looking to try different stuff. But what my wife and my kids, they want to eat all the things in the stalls, that is made.
Like on the streets.
Yeah, but I'm a little bit like, oh, do I?
You're a bit more
Yeah,
hesitant.
what kind of food is this? Is this good for me? So, but I'm getting there. I'm trying to. I will be more encouraged to try some different stuff. But what kind of things should I try? What is your favorites?
Well, in Jakarta, the special food is, of course, nasi goreng. And then we also have soto Betawi. It's like soup, but
Okay.
the soup is very distinctive because they use coconut milk.
Oh yeah.
And it's called soto Betawi. Betawi means also,
Is it meat
Batavia,
inside or
Jakarta.
vegetables?
Yeah, you can
meat
mix.
and vegetables.
Yeah, mix between meat and vegetables. We can
Wow.
also ask you if you don't want the meat, you can also have like
Yeah.
the veggies like potatoes, and then carrots. Also, some of the parts use that also. So you can ask if you don't want to.
I will
eat
try
it.
that today.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else
That's,
that we can?
that's a good
suggest?
recommendation. One of my favorites is I love dessert. And there's
What?
this, I love dessert. And
Oh,
so
desserts,
there's
yeah.
a dessert
You're a
called
cake woman.
martabak. Yes, I am. I'm a sweets person. Have you ever heard of martabak?
Martabak?
Yeah.
No.
They usually only sell it in the stalls during the nighttime.
Okay.
But that's something you
Is it a
should really
cake?
try.
Is it?
It's like a pancake.
Yeah,
pancake?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's thick.
It's
a
very thick.
It's thick.
pancake.
What do you put? Is it like jam or
Oh,
chocolate or cream?
chocolate.
Mostly we use chocolate and lots of
Nuts.
butter,
Lot of
sugars,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
Condensed milk.
Condensed
It's
milk.
very
Not
So it's a
juicy
large
little
pancake with
pancake.
all the
Yes.
good stuff on top.
Yes.
yes.
So is that like tradition or is it like what kind of?
It's a street food.
Huh?
Yeah, but it's actually the recipes come from a way long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's
It's Indonesian.
It's Indonesian.
Indonesian.
Yeah, yeah.
I will
Yeah.
try these two things.
Yeah, and also if you like more, it's also like light food, but it's not sweet. It's more salty. It is called kerak telur.
Kerak
It's
telur.
it's very special to Jakarta because it's originally from Jakarta.
Okay, is it
kerak
like
telur.
crispy?
Yes, it's a little bit crispy.
Is it
and also
fried?
have-
Deep fried?
not deep fried. Not
No.
deep fried. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a little bit dry. They also put like a little bit coconuts on top of it, so
Yeah.
it's going to be. It's not sweet. It's not too salty as well, but it's going to be a mix of that.
It's delicious.
Kerak telur.
Kerak telur.
That's all you need to know from Ballerina. It's delicious.
Ballerina told me try the kerak telur.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Kerak telur, soto Betawi. Those two are very original from Jakarta.
Okay, then I will. I will
Yeah.
try them.
Okay. So how about in Norway? So
Yeah.
okay, it's because we're going
What
to
you go out,
yeah.
out with.
Yeah. If do you have like a special food?
Yeah, we have a lot of national special food that we eat for celebration. It's not that exotic, but in the autumn we eat something called fårikål. Can you say that?
How do you?
Fårikål?
Fårikål?
Yes, very good.
Okay.
Fårikål is lamb
Oh, okay.
cooked with cabbage.
Oh.
That's it.
Oh, and that's like
Okay.
a special dish for the
Yeah.
autumn?
So when in autumn we eat fårikål, lamb and cabbage cooked for 4.5 to 5 hours. Pepper and salt, potatoes. That's for autumn.
Okay.
When it comes to Christmas, because we eat pork in Christmas, pork belly. That's very, very common to have ribbe on Christmas Eve. We have ribbe, it's a pork belly.
Okay.
And the other part of Norwegians, they eat pinnekjøtt, which also is lamb.
Different,
Oh.
maybe different way to cook it.
Yeah, lamb that has been salted and hang out for hours, no, days, to dry out. And then you steam it. And that's very good as well. But I think Norwegian food are based on, the tradition is that the Norwegian have been outside working a lot. So when they came home, they were very, very hungry. So they had to have food that could last long.
Like sustain them.
Yeah, sustain them. And in Norway, it's very cold. So we have food that, like, in some kind of ways, comforting, I
Okay.
think.
Do you eat rice though?
Rice, I eat rice. I eat a lot of rice, but in Norway, I don't think any dishes comes with rice. We have potatoes, a lot of potatoes,
Yeah,
much potatoes, almost
Yeah,
potatoes.
in here you need to eat rice with everything.
Oh,
Mostly, yeah?
everything.
Rice and noodles.
Rice,
Yeah.
rice, soto Betawi, you have to eat with rice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then kerak telur. You know, telur means egg.
Cracked lor.
Egg.
Egg. Oh,
Yeah.
is it egg?
Yeah, that's an egg. It's
Okay.
like more, maybe the same way, almost the same way to cook a scrambled egg, but it's
Then I
different
actually
eggs.
think I saw it in the old city
The
yesterday.
market.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a stall. I saw a lot of eggs.
Yes.
I saw a guy sitting
Yeah.
on a stove
Yeah.
making some. Yeah.
Yes, they
okay.
should try that. That's
I'll try
Yeah.
that's original recipe from Jakarta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but we will definitely be conversing more with you after this. This has been a fun chat. But now we are going to take a quick break. So don't go anywhere, for we will be back on Starting Point after a short break.
Jakarta.
Hey, welcome back to Starting Point. We are still in conversation with Christian Strand, who is an actor from Norway, Oslo, and currently in Indonesia, Jakarta. Well, Christian, thank you so much again for being here. It's been an exciting conversation.
Very.
What I am curious about is that so you are an actor in Norway, and I heard that you are also host of TV shows.
Yes.
So can you please tell us more about that?
Well, I've been working with TV and being an actor since I was 12 years old. I've been hosting shows like this. I had my own talk show. I also been having like the celebration as a when Norway has this national day with 17th of May. The whole country watches NRK, which is almost compared to TVRI, and we have this TV show. So I've been hosting that one for 3 years for Norway, and also having this huge fundraising. Every year in Norway we have something called TV-aksjonen, which is a great show where we try to fundraise money for other countries. For last time it was for Bangladesh and Sudan, and we got in billions of rupees. Like 280 million Norwegian kroners. So I have been hosting both entertainment show, game shows, and talk shows, but also like shows that try to gather all the Norwegians together. And when it comes to acting, I've been acting in soap operas,
Wow.
movies, and and also children's TV. Because now I have my own children. So this Eastern, we have this crime, this who's been killed. So I've been starring in that one together with my son.
Wow, what is it called?
That was called Super Crim, which is like super crime.
Like that name.
Yeah, super crime. And who was the murderer? Was it me or my son, or was it someone? Yeah, that was exciting. First time with my
Like a
son.
detective movie.
Yeah, like a detective thing
interesting.
for kids. And so I've been working with kids shows and for adult shows and shows that gathers all the Norwegian together.
Okay, so
and also music.
Wow.
Music.
Yes.
It's very complete.
Oh, yeah. It's a whole career then.
A very good background. So for 12 years, so since 12 years old. Wow. So after this, and then you're doing your documentary now. After this, what you want to achieve in the future?
Wow. What I want to do. Maybe I should do an Indonesian TV show.
Wow, that's a good
Or an
idea.
Indonesian soap star. So if anyone wants me as an actor,
They're always looking. You know?
maybe.
Yeah.
Big in Asia, isn't that a quote? Big in Indonesia?
Oh, big in Indonesia.
I should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
No,
more
I'm-
into movies, more into acting.
Podcast is really huge in Norway now, so hopefully do more of that. I have one now, but more of that. But also like entertainment shows like the one I'm filming here in Indonesia, and acting as well. I love to do everything. You know, I don't want to like be put in like one place, but like what comes around, I find it very exciting.
I'm sure you're going to be great in everything.
Yeah.
You have proven.
I'm the only Indonesian in Norwegian TV.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
That's great.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's true. And also looking into the future as well on the topic, Christian, how do you hope that, I mean, now you're here, you came all the way from Oslo for 24 hours. How do you hope that you can also collaborate with people here, right?
Oh, that would be so exciting if Norway, Oslo can work with something in Indonesia and Jakarta. Well, you know, today when we have Netflix and we have HBO and we have all these huge American streamliners, it's possible. You can like make stories, if it comes to drama, you can make stories that happens in Norway, Oslo, and also in Jakarta.
Yeah.
So if I find the right history to tell in, for instance, a drama series, of course you can collaborate. And I've been working with a guy called Kresna here in Indonesia when I'm here. He's a super great guy. So I told him that Norway and Indonesia should try to make some drama together.
Yeah,
or I can come here and do some drama.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah,
So
why not?
maybe that's the next collaboration.
That sounds
Indonesia and Norway.
interesting.
We're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Okay, so unfortunately we have to come to the end of the program.
It was so
But now
nice being here.
Before we close, we would like to hear maybe your hopes or your message to the audience. Maybe you can even say it in Norway if you want to. Please.
Norwegian.
Yeah. Should I say it somewhere?
Yeah, if you have any message for Indonesians as well,
Yeah, you can-
or
every Indonesians, you have to come to Norway once to discover and see what kind of place Norway and Oslo is. And hopefully, I want every Norwegian to come to Jakarta, to Indonesia, to meet all the great people, discover all the great food, the art, and the city. And I enjoy and I love Indonesia. So I hope everyone else will do the same.
Yes. And we also enjoyed having you here in our program today.
We really
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Christian.
Thank
It's
you.
been such a joy.
I know.
Yeah.
And now I will go out and find all the great food you told me.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
That's a
Homework
must.
for today. Yes. Well,
All right.
thank you so much again for watching Starting Point. This has been a really awesome and wonderful show with Christian Strand. I'm Audrey Utoyo.
And I'm Verna Daniel. We're looking forward to see you again tomorrow at the same time, of course, at Starting Point. So
Yes.
thank you and goodbye.